Sorry guys, I didn't see you were there. Welcome to a brand new series called Sneak Peek. So you might be looking going, this isn't a Mortal Kombat video, this isn't a fighting game video, what are you doing? That's for the people who watch these videos, which is not a whole lot. But that's besides the point. Sneak Peek is a delve into PlayStation Plus's perks of quote-unquote free games. Now, of course, a lot of people will say, well, they're not free, you need PlayStation Plus, which you pay for. But if you use PlayStation Plus like I do for online access on PS4, these are like nice little treats to check out. These games don't tend to be like really big games. Like you're not going to get Arkham Knight or Far Cry Primal or anything like that, at least not for a while. And even then, it's after they would get dropped down in price. Like Resident Evil, which is one of the PS4 free PS Plus games for the month of October, it's $15.99 on its own. So not a whole lot lost there. Excuse me. But today we'll be checking out Letter Quest Remastered. Now, that sounds a little bit weird, I can tell, so I'll quickly give you the gist of it. I like more unconventional games. I have a weird taste. Like, I play Mortal Kombat, and just earlier I was messing around in Fossil Fighters, which I might talk about at some point. But one thing I've really liked recently is Bookworm Adventures, which you can pick up on, which you used to be able to pick up on Steam. For some reason you can't anymore. But basically, yeah, spell out words, you do damage to enemies. It's the same basic principle with Letter Quest Remastered, but in my opinion so far, it's much better. This is not a review show, by the way. If you want a review show, let me know. This is really just showing you guys what this game is like so that you guys can make your own decisions. Remember, these games are free on different consoles. So if with PlayStation Plus, if you got PlayStation Plus, let's say there's a game on if you're playing the Vita still, which good on you. But if you've got the Vita still and you're looking for a free game on the Vita to try out, and you got PS Plus, look on the PS Store. There's probably something there for you. Or the PS3, or the PS4. And games that have cross-play functionality, like Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, or in this case, Letter Quest Remastered, you can pick up the game for both, for let's say, in the case of Letter Quest Remastered, for both the Vita and the PS4, and you can pick it up absolutely free. Now, when your PS Plus trial is done, you can't play the game anymore, and you have to refresh your PlayStation Plus, but you have to do it anyway in order to do the online, so it's not that big of a deal. And besides, if you're just looking to try something new that's, hey, I'm getting bored of playing Mortal Kombat all the damn time, I want to try something new, you can check out the free little games. And in the case of Letter Quest Remastered, it's actually quite small. It's one of the smallest PS4 games I know about at 450 megabytes. The smallest I have is Shovel Knight at 235 megabytes, by the way. And just for comparison, Minecraft on PS4 is almost exactly 1 gigabyte. Or about 2.25 times bigger than Letter Quest Remastered. Frig, No Man's Sky is like 12 times the size because it's 11 gigabytes. This is crazy stuff. And if you don't like Letter Quest Remastered or you don't like how it looks, don't worry about looking into it. If you like how it looks and you just want to give it a try and you don't end up liking it, well, it's only 450 megabytes that you've lost downloading it anyway, so once you shelve that bitch, it's all real good. But now I'm done talking about the sneak peek. Let's get into Letter Quest Remastered, shall we? Now, I said I wasn't going to be doing a review sort of thing, but I figured that at the very least I should explain to you guys exactly what the hell is going on in Letter Quest Remastered, if the visual cues weren't exactly enough for you. First off, right off the bat, you can tell the music's actually not that bad. I quite like you get to shuffle between the new soundtrack and the classic soundtrack, and you get two difficulties, normal and expert. I went with normal because I always play normal mode on my first playthrough, and sometimes I go with hard, but oftentimes I just, stick to normal mode. And you get 3 saves, so it's a good place to start. In the options menu, you can cycle through the original or the new soundtrack. You can pick whichever one you like better. I personally prefer the new soundtrack, which was evident after I took a listen. Here are the controls for the game, and you'll notice right away that there's a few neat things that you can see. Word definition being one of the big ones, because let's say you are just spelling random words to try and get an attack, and suddenly, oh wait a minute, this is an actual word? What does it mean? Hit the button. You can also get enemy descriptions if you'd like to have a look as well. And when we get into that later, the definition thing also comes in real handy when you just want to learn about new words. So, without further ado, let's go right into the story mode. Now, as you can see, Grimm is just absolutely adorable, and I love this guy. Now, like I said, I didn't get very far. I only played like the first 2 or 3 levels, but it's just more of a first impressions thing to show you guys, hey, this is what it looks like. And Grimm's a nice, helpful little reaper, and he shows you a few things as to what to do. Now, you'll notice that there are stars. Don't worry, these aren't actually ratings. This is how Letter Quest Remastered does different versions of its levels. You'll have your first level 1, which is right at the beginning, just kill all the monsters and you're good to go. But then you get the time trial, or meet certain challenges and the like, and you're alright. Loading times aren't too long either. Now, once you begin, you can see you have a 5x3 grid, which is 15 letters, which you need to spell a word in order to attack. So, the first word that I'm going to spell is boom. Now with COD, you could attack, or you could try and spell bigger words, which I do here. I try and think, but now that I actually had to look at it, I could probably have spelled coyote, but code will work rather well. You hit square to attack once you have a full word, and you can see what the word means at the bottom left right there, and how much damage it did to the opponent. You can even see the enemy description at the bottom right there. And you can also, if you really want to, you can scramble with the triangle button in order to say, oh no, what's going on here? Here's an example of the definition. Re? What does that mean? Boom. And then you can look it up at a later date. But triangle is to shuffle the board, so if you're just getting letters that you can't figure out what the hell is going on, well, that is how you shuffle things in order to make things work. And you can see these little gems, they're going to come in especially handy when you get a chance. Now, I didn't know this at the time, so I kind of just went ham, but you really only need to attack it at any point. I tried to go for as long as possible. I guess some words didn't, I don't know how to spell adultery, or adultery just isn't in there. Now, we're done! The first level. And you can just go back to the map and see any new stages that we unlocked. Now, don't worry, like Grimm is going to mention, the stars are not ratings. They're basically chunks of the level with trial mode and the like to have a look at. And we go back to the menu. I don't remember. Oh, right, because I wanted to switch back and forth between the soundtracks so that you can get an idea as to what it sounds like. You can go back and replay. See, Grimm points this out. And now we go on to the time trial or the challenge stars. But I just replayed the first level just so that you can have a look and be like, hey, let's see how this works out. A quick loading screen later, and we're back into spelling. And already I can tell there's animal, so I'm going to use that in order to attack. And of course, you'll actually see the definitions and all that jazz. I should have looked up the definition of anima. But as you can tell, pretty basic game. Nothing too wild out there, but nothing completely unreasonable either. So if this interests you, I would highly recommend you check this out. Not to mention that there's also a little bit of an RPG element with getting achievements like defeat 2 monsters in order to get certain amounts of gems. And then you can run into the merchant in order to buy one-use items in this stage. Or you can go to the merchant shop and say, buy extra health in order to make your little guy stronger so that stages don't completely kick your ass. And even though I only do the first couple of stages, I can already tell that this is a big improvement on the other game like this that I've played before. Bookworm Adventures. So if you've never heard of Bookworm Adventures, it's basically something very similar. Oh, and if you just want to go straight to the next level, there you go. And there's also a rarity icon. So bronze is common, silver is not so common, and then gold letters are not very common at all, like X or Z. Yes, I say Z because I'm Canadian. But one thing to keep in mind with the aforementioned Bookworm Adventures comparison is that this game is automatically way better, not only because it, 1, looks better, but 2, the RPG elements make things way more interesting. 3, you can actually look up what words mean, so I'm not confused as to why one thing is a word but one thing isn't. You can see how much health the enemy has and how much attack it has. Overall, it's just a much more... there's more information that you can work with, which is, quite frankly, a much easier thing to work with than, say, Bookworm Adventures, which, yes, while Bookworm Adventures does show you the attack and what it doesn't show you how much damage it does or how high the attack rate is. And there's no shop to buy specific items. The only way to get items is to complete mini-games, and the only way to upgrade your health is to level up. So Letter Quest Remastered has that game beat there. So overall, if you're looking to play a game that has you spell words out in order to kick the crap out of enemies, I would highly recommend that you pick up Letter Quest Remastered. It's free right now, but even if you miss out on this deal, it's only $9.99 on the PSN store. So I wouldn't be super worried about missing this one. Overall, I'd say check it out. I'm not going to give you a score or anything. I'm just going to let you watch the rest of the gameplay in complete silence. Well, complete silence from my voice anyway, so you can judge for yourself.